Alright, think we are good to go. Just see if this is registering on the interwebs. Looks like we are. Fabulous. So hi guys, it's me, Shay. I am live streaming, man words, a little bit later in the day today than normal, because I had to travel for a bit this morning. So I was out and about and doing the things, and now I'm home. I can actually get back to the desk and do some work this morning. Or afternoon, my goodness. I'm quite out of sorts right now, my apologies. But yeah, I'm here and we need to get some work done, so I figured I'd come hang out online in case anybody wanted to talk while we were doing this. I'm currently working on my March map for Patreon. I'm combining this with some homework for a cartography class that I am taking. And basically just using the ability to kind of get two birds with one stone to handle both of these things. The map is in design an area that one of the players from my campaign is from, and my intention is to give it to her as a going away gift when she moves this summer. So it means a lot to me to make sure that it's beautiful and well put together and accurate because she will be using it as a reference for games that we play when she is on Roll20 or farther away. So I'm just in the mountains section of things for now, and then once the mountains are done I will start putting in the forests, and yeah, going from there. Oh, someone just tried calling me. I was not available for that. I'm just gonna make sure the ringer is off on my phone. My apologies, guys. Yeah, anyway, sorry about that. 'Twas the husband calling from Latvia, which he does. So, I thought he was asleep for the night already. We haven't seen the woodpecker back in a few days, but there's a very loud bird out the back right now. It makes me wonder if it's her. Things are starting to kind of hover between spring and winter here now. We had a lot of geese that are already coming back, which is unusual. Kind of like it though. They're noisy and delightful. Not as many of them here as there were when I was in Saskatchewan though. That's a big change. Hey, Miss Laura, how are you? Thanks for popping by. How's your day going? End of week? Happiness? A very boring day at work. Well, happy that I can kind of break that monotony for you. I don't know if you can hear Saxon in the background being a goof. He's like, why are you talking about me, Mom? His ears really are expressive. I love his ears so much. They were definitely something that made me go, oh yeah, when we saw him the first time. He was such a bouncy, high energy dog the very first time we saw him that I was like, oh boy, do we know what we're getting in for? He's thankfully mellowed a little bit in his maturity, which I am glad for, because otherwise he would be a lot to handle. Hey Patrick, how are you? I hope the lighting is okay in here. I realize it's afternoon, so there's some shadows. Yeah, I love Saxon's ears, honestly. He just is too cute for words sometimes. It's like, oh, buddy, why you gotta be so adorable? Doesn't get him out of trouble, though. He's absolutely in love with my neighbor Stephanie. Like, adores her so much. And it's really cute to watch. Ooh, Kit Kats. I love Kit Kats. You are allowed to be tardy. Technically, I started early. It's just 3 o'clock now. I was just like, I'm in the place to get started. I should get started before I lose this momentum. What are you working on lately, Patrick? Hi, Saxon. What you doing, Doodle? Hey, what you doing? No, you were just out. And I'm live streaming now, so you're gonna have to wait. Maybe when we're done we can go to the PARK. Library book still. Ooh, are you gonna post the text to the group so that we can read it? Because I am super curious about that. Some feedback, hey? Well, I'll look at it. If you want me to. Like, that's not a problem. I didn't know that you were looking to make it a collaborative project. Did you say that, or did I just forget? Because there's a high possibility I just forgot. The last couple weeks have been pretty intense in the mental load. Okay, that's totally fair. Yeah, keep me in mind if you need a second set of eyes or whatever. I can be useful at that kind of thing. There was a couple people in the mapping group that have tried out elements of my drawing style in the last little while. It was really neat to see. Michael, oh goodness, Sinovich, I think is how you pronounce his last name, did a really great job of imitating the way I do my trees. His map looks just fabulous. I was really impressed. And also just super grateful that he was like, hey, you know, I'm working on your style. What do you think? I was like, thank you for, like, giving credit and asking, because, like, that's really flattering and wonderful. Possibility he's better at my style than I am, which is kind of neat. And then there was a Gary. Hello, my love. How are you? That sounds pretty amazing. It's sunny here too, which is really nice. At least it's still bright. That's a good thing. I drove to Lloydminster today to pick up a few things, and it was a really pretty drive. I mean, the drive is usually quite nice, but with the sun, it was exceptional today. Does make me want a good pair of sunglasses though. I wear glasses, so I've never had like sunglasses because they've always been more money than what I've had. And oh boy, sometimes I think a pair of prescription sunglasses would just be the bomb. Veggie burgers, delicious. You having anything with the veggie burgers or just the burgers? I can see that there's at least one person lurking. Hi, lurking person. If you can say hi, feel free to say hi. If you don't want to, that is also perfectly acceptable. There is no pressure. Oh, transitions. Those are sweet. I've thought about doing that with mine too. Homemade buns. Oh, I dream of bread right now. Well, actually, giving up bread wasn't as hard as I expected. I do miss it sometimes though. I have a candle that I bought from the company Cantrip Candles that smells like a bakery. It literally smells like yeast and flour and all of that delicious baking stuff. And it's called Gold Wheat Bakery. It's so good. Why are you sorry? You're reminding me of things that I like. Do not apologize. It's my decision not to eat the bread. I am self-inflicting the suffering. Hi, Saxon. How are you? I know, you're like, Mom, why are you doing this in the afternoon? This makes no sense. I understand that you're confused, buddy. Is Wolf watching me? That's funny. Hi, Wolf. Haven't seen you in a while. What have I learned about mountain placement that is different than before? That my ranges need to be wider. I'm working in a different scale for this map. I'm actually attempting to work to scale in this map, where 1 centimeter is 10 kilometers. And so trying to learn how to do that with my brain, because normally I just put stuff down where I think it looks good. So while that's beautiful, it's not very technical. But there was a post, maybe it was Brian Nagy that made it in the mapping group, talking about mountain ranges and how most fantasy mappers draw them entirely too thin, that they should be broader and have more depth and more width to them, rather than just being like a decorative kind of edging. And I really tried to take that into heart. I don't know if I love the results yet. Although part of loving the results is just the fact that this scale is weird to work at. I'm used to my mountains, some of them being like an inch and a quarter tall. So this scale is very short to work on, and it feels a little funny to me. But I think it looks alright. It'll look better once I get a bit more heavy line in here. But yeah, what have I learned? I have learned that they need to be a little bit more complicated. They need to kind of stack and butt up against each other more. And what else have I learned? More foothills. But I usually like put my foothills in with the trees, so that kind of makes sense. So yeah. They look okay, hey? Like, yeah, I don't think they're like terrible by any means. They're just different, and it takes me a little bit of time to kind of adjust when I innovate something to decide if I like it or not. I think that's probably true for everyone. But it's definitely something for me where I'm like, okay, do I like this? Do I like it just because it's different? Or do I like it because it's better? And sometimes it takes me a while to kind of figure that out. One of the other challenges has been for this map that the way I was conceptualizing it is different from how the player who's receiving it as a gift was conceptualizing it. So what I thought was there's a lot more trees and like some larger forest in here, a larger forest in here. This needs to all be like plains and desert kind of thing, and fewer trees. So trying to like conceptualize how I'm going to draw that kind of land formation when I wasn't initially thinking about it will be a thing. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it though. The coastline is one of my favorite coastlines that I've ever done. Like bar none, love the coastline so much. So just kind of working with that and seeing where it goes from here will be a lot of fun. And just carrying on. Carrying on, carrying on. Cat approved. Excellent. I feel like with Michael picking up on my tree style, I might have to like push myself to innovate a little bit further. That is the one thing about like people picking up on your style, is it really does push you into making sure that you're not doing the same thing all the time. Oh, does he really, Laura? That's interesting. So do you guys wait to find out if I post on Facebook, or do you get like Facebook or sorry, not Facebook, YouTube notifications when I go on? I'm just trying to figure out like how people find out that I'm on. I'm assuming Facebook, but I do not know that for sure, hence the ask. YouTube notices, okay. I don't know how I feel about this issue of like borrowers versus no borrowers. Like on one hand, it's super flattering that somebody thinks my work is like worthwhile of emulation, but on the other hand, it's kind of like, hey, that's mine. I don't know. I think that's why I was so impressed that there was actually like attribution and like, you know, that kind of thing. That was really nice. Yeah, that's fair, Laura. Definitely don't want you getting in trouble for like being on Facebook if you're not supposed to. I don't want to cause grief for nobody. It's never on my list of things to do. Yeah, I usually post at 9. I usually start the stream at 9:30 in the morning. And then it just depends on whatever. But like I said, I was traveling this morning, so I kind of was like, well, I can either put it off until Friday, or I can just stream in the afternoon and get that obligation met. I really do find it helps me be accountable for the productivity, and I like it because it's also just a chance to be social. And like, there's not a lot of that going on in my world right now. I mean, I'm social with people, but it's a very, very small group of people. So I'm lucky people want to put up with me, though. That's a very wonderful thing. You're the boss. Now I have the theme song for Who's the Boss stuck in my head. You remember that show, Laura? Who was that? Judith Light and Tony Danza, wasn't it? I want to say. Also, happy belated Mario Day, you guys. March 10th is Mario Day. which makes me super happy because I'm a Mario nerd. So that was awesome. And it will be Pi Day on Saturday, March 14th. I am going into Edmonton tomorrow night to eat pie with a bunch of my nerdy friends. So that's going to be fun. I haven't been in to Edmonton except for like day trips with a friend of mine since, my word, I think Thanksgiving was the last time I spent any time overnight. I can't remember now. It's been a while anyway. Longer than I like. Edmonton pie. Nom nom nom. Really? I wonder what it's like to date a celebrity before they become a celebrity. Like, do you look back on that and go, oh, damn, I shouldn't have let them get away? Do you go, oh, thank goodness, I don't want to have to deal with the life of a celebrity? Like, I wonder how that works. Your mom's going to a metal show? I find that a little bit staggering, gotta be honest. Yeah, I wonder how often that happens, Gary. Like, really. What kind of painting thing, Laura? An aspiring boxer. Hey, I didn't realize he was a boxer. That's kind of a fun fact. Yeah, I think retirement homes will be a much funner place to work when that's the case, Gary. Or at least I hope they will be. That's cool. How'd it go? Yeah, post the picture. I'd like to see that. Dry brushing for shadows. Interesting. That'd be a fun technique. For COVID-19, Patrick? Mice. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Is that a proper use of irony? I feel like that's a proper use of irony. Maybe like a very Disney specific use of irony, but still. Yeah, the virus. Fair enough. I'm not surprised. Like, that's just such an incredible cohabitation of people. A friend of mine has family in Italy. That's where she's from. And she says that it's a really, really scary situation over there. She's got a lot of concerns about how things are going and the welfare of her family and stuff. And wasn't Naglis really was upset about the football games that they were talking about? How the Italian team was still coming, and he thought that that was a terrible idea. It's just like, oh my. We got word today that there's a pretty high chance that my trip to see Dave is going to be canceled because Latvia is looking at closing its borders and preventing people from flying in and out. So it looks like the army is going to be canceling all non-essential travel, so leave trips and stuff like that is part of that. I found out like a couple minutes before starting the live stream. I'm not thrilled about this. We have like our tickets and our Airbnb and everything already booked. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him. Like, I miss him quite a bit. So this sucks. But I understand it. I absolutely get the risks, and I understand that, you know, he's a soldier on foreign soil, so he has to abide by the command decisions that are being made. I'm just glad he's not going to be gone for like another 6 months without me seeing him. Like, he should be home by the end of May from this tour, so even if I don't see him at the beginning of April, it's not like I'm going to die before I see him again. It just sucks. Like, really, really sucks. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do. Luke was going to a Raptors game and he's not now? Yeah, the Italians definitely have no football now. Like, none. I don't know. I mean, the Olympics is far enough off now, Laura, that, like, this could be resolved by then. Who knows? but it's definitely. I thought I saw a headline on Facebook right before I started the live stream that the NHL is canceling the season. But don't quote me on that without doing your fact checking because I don't remember if that's what I saw or not. Because then I saw a Beaverton article that was like somehow in a canceled season the Maple Leafs still get themselves eliminated from the playoffs. And I was like, oh, you guys, that's mean. I mean, probably not wrong, but still mean. The NBA is, hey. Yeah, that was my upsetting news. Like, I'm not angry. I'm not, like, whatever. It is what it is, and it needs to be what it is, I think, given, like, how scary the situation is in places like Italy. Um, I'm just disappointed because I wanted to see my husband. They're in Toronto right now? I'm confused, Gary. I need more information than what you're giving me. Ah, I follow. I follow, I follow. Naps are good. I encourage you to nap. That's the thing. Yeah, no, it's okay. Um, as of right now, we don't have any word on like what this does other than affects our trip to go see each other in Scotland. Um, I guess it's just we're gonna have to wait and see how this goes, right? He's not set to come home for another couple months, so hopefully by then we have a better idea of what the hell is going on with this situation. Um, but yeah, I'm more concerned for like my friends that are in Latvia right now that are supposed to be coming home like next week, because hopefully they can get back. They're not flying commercial though; they're flying military flights. Um, so hopefully that means there's less of a problem. Because I imagine that Canadian Armed Forces would rather have them home and be treated here on own soil if there is any issues. I haven't heard of any cases among our people yet. Um, the only Latvian cases that I've heard about have been civilians. So that is a thing. But it sounds like Latvia is taking it pretty seriously. Dave was saying today that they've suspended school for the next 6 weeks, just to try and keep things contained. I have zero idea how a nation responds to this kind of thing, right? Like I've never lived through it. I don't know anybody who did deal with any kind of pandemic issues. So like when your kids can't go to school and you can't go to work, how does that work? You know, you got bills to pay still, you got landlords and like the entire functional structural system. Like, how does this play out? Can't say I have any reasonable idea. I didn't know Tom Hanks had it. Oh, yeah, that does kind of make it weird, doesn't it? Brings it home in a slightly different way. Somebody wrote a verse of just stuff that's going on in the news right now and said it to the tune of "We didn't start the fire." And I saw it on Facebook like an hour ago, and it made me laugh because I was like, yeah, it's kind of perfect. Like, apparently the lyrics for "We Didn't Start the Fire" was just written because the songwriter was sitting in a coffee shop listening to two old men just cover the news. And that was how that song came about. And I was just like, that is so fascinating. Because, yeah, basically it reads like a litany of headlines. Him and his wife. That sucks. I mean, honestly, every person who has it, it sucks for. Like, I feel really, really bad that people are going through this. Oh, definitely exposing a lot of social inequalities, for sure. There are so many problems that are being brought out in a structural capacity that I think, as much as it really, really sucks that this is what it's going to take to get these issues highlighted in this way, at least they're being highlighted. Like, it's a shitty silver lining, but it still kind of is there. Like, I was reading somewhere that New York is refusing to close its public school system because they're worried about the homeless kids that have nowhere to go and have no other, like, food security. And I'm like, damn, like, you're one public school closure away from having that situation. Like, that's terrifying. Honestly, Canadian healthcare is woefully inadequate to dealing with this too. Like, let's be real about this. We are not staffed to deal with a pandemic. I don't think anywhere in the world is. And in pandemic situations, your frontline workers are going to start to go down, and that's just going to collapse the system. Like, that's just exponential virology, really. So, I don't think it's fair to just rag on the US about this, although I wish that they were perhaps taking it more seriously in some areas. I have a lot of friends still in the academic world who are posted at US universities all over the place, and just seeing what the responses have been from different universities. Like, a lot of them are transitioning their courses to online only for the next couple of weeks until hopefully some of this dies down. There's other ones that are like, no, we're going to stay open, business as usual. Like, we're just going to deal with it as it is. And it's phenomenal to just see the staff's reaction and the adjuncts' reaction. I don't have any lines on like what the students are doing in those institutions because I'm not connected to the student population, but just hearing some of the decisions that are coming down from like department heads and stuff has been really, really fascinating. Very interesting. And like different in different areas of the like country too, which is like wild. So wild. I would argue that that's true in Canada too, Gary, especially for lower income people. Paid time off work is remarkably rare now. It used to be a lot more common. It's not anymore. I have a lot of friends that are working like good quote unquote grown up jobs who do not get paid sick days. Paid sick days are also very much like an upper middle class thing. You're not going to get paid sick days from your job at a food court. Like, not a thing. I think it's really interesting that I'm in my 30s and I still think of certain jobs as quote unquote grown up jobs. Like, I think I've only had 2 grown up jobs in my entire life. And I find it so fascinating that that's the terms I use for them. I think that's very revealing. Yep, that is a bonus. For sure, for sure. We've also seen, I've also seen an article about how the current federal government is already revamping what they can do about EI support for people forced to go into quarantine and stuff like that. And it's nice to see, pardon me, that there's some fast reactions to that kind of thing. Although I really feel for the EI office because they're slammed at the best of times, and if this goes big, it's just going to be so much worse. Yeah. I am definitely an adult and not grown up. I am mature in some ways, but definitely not grown up, I would say. Okay, have fun. I don't know how much we're saying. We're just having a chill kind of day today, which I'm cool with. I wonder how Naglis is making out with his exams. I hope it's going alright. That's starting to look okay, hey? Yeah, I think so. Ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. Looks God even, hey? Yay! That's a very, for me, a very drag queen thing. Yes, God. Sometimes I get very attached to drag language. I watch a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race. It's a thing. Are you using anything in a binder for them, Gary? Like an egg or breadcrumbs or anything? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got scale creep happening. Like, almost 100% sure. I feel like the tree lines are just too big. Not quite sure how to fade that down yet. Because honestly, they're still, what, a millimeter high? In some places, too. So, yeah, I don't know. But I guess, like, what's my option to change that? Go to dots? Because I don't know if dots would give me the texture that I want either. Freeze frame. Oh no. Really? I know I didn't move for a while. Oh crap. No, don't freeze. We're back. Okay, fantastic. Oh, internet connection. Sometimes you give me heart palpitations. Yay, there we are. There's a pretty big lag though. Can you see a closer view? Yeah, you can. How's that? Come on, computer, catch up. Okay, now focus. Come on. My computer is showing some pretty serious lag. I don't know how it's going for you guys. There we go. That's a little better. The distance size brought into the foreground, hey? So the ones up here, hold forward. My computer is being super laggy. Okay, maybe it is just from focus. Okay, let's see if we're focused now. Yeah, what, Patrick? Sorry, that's not clear. Bring this from the top down. Just keep it nice and tight. Everything smaller. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think the stream just froze. Ah, no! Oh, maybe not. Do you guys have focus? Because it is not showing as focused for me. And I can't tell. Well, I was working with a 02 pen, so I can go down to a 01 or a 05, a 005. So that might help with the scaleness. It's going to make things look lighter more than anything. You can still hear me, okay. Just the hills and the features, okay. Well, let's do it in a 005 and see if that makes a difference. And make them maybe like 0.5 millimeter to a millimeter tall. Not focused. Okay. Now that we're having technical difficulties, I think I'm going to sign off because this is just going to get irritating for me, I think. And it's been a little over an hour, so. I will probably stream again tomorrow. Let's find out. Hand up. Slowly lower it down. The lag is incredible, you guys. Come on, computer, catch up. I feel like I'm spending so much of this stream just watching my computer to see what's going on. Come on, buddy. What is with this?